What's good, crypto fam? Make sure to say hello in the live chat. In today's show, we're going to be discussing everything Michael Saylor. Quoting him here from a recent interview, Bitcoin represents thermodynamically sound money and thermodynamically sound property in a modern high-velocity economic energy system. So that being the case, anyone not using it is running on a 20th century system that's defective. I'll also be sharing his latest $1 million Bitcoin price prediction and why the Bitcoin price is likely to exceed that seven-figure mark. We'll also be discussing the latest technical analysis, as well as Coinbase versus the SEC court dates have been confirmed for the initial case arguments. We'll also be discussing Worldcoin token launch sparks a response from Vitalik Buterin, co-founder of Ethereum, as well as a Bitcoin positive feedback loop, according to analysts forecasting a price surge beyond $120,000 per BTC, ultimately meaning more than quadrupling its current value. We'll also be discussing the trader who predicted the May 2021 crypto crash issues a Bitcoin warning, outlining a Bitcoin target for the next market cycle of $157,000 by 2025. And of course, we're going to be discussing everything Michael Saylor, his 1 million price prediction, all this plus so much more in today's show. And those of you just joining us here on the channel, make sure you are subscribed by smashing that subscribe button and hitting the bell icon to turn on notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. And welcome everyone tuning in. This is pod number 1351. I'm your host, JV, and today is July 24th, 2023. Naturally, there's lots to discuss, so let's dive right in to today's market watch, which you can see here in your screen. We got Bitcoin and the greater altcoin market currently correcting and in the red, with Bitcoin down 3% for the day, maintaining just above 29,100. We have Ether down 2%, trading at roughly $1,850. Solana is one of the biggest losers. We also have BNB, XRP, Cardano, all correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap sits at 1.17 trillion with 35 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance at 48.4%, with the Ether dominance at 19% even. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, Trust Wallet token leading the pack up 8%, trading just above 94 cents, followed by Doge up 4%, trading at 7.4 cents, followed by XDC up 1%, trading just above 5.2 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, a massive sea of red. Oh no, only a handful in the green. Some of the biggest losers include the infamous Pepe coin, as well as Blockstacks. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 55 back in greed. Yesterday was in neutral, the same as last week with a 54, and last month a 62 in greed. So there you have it. How many took advantage of this current dip? Comment BTFD in the live chat or in the main comment section right down below. And massive shout out to everyone joining us live in the live chat. Shout out to Sailing with Twins, Anub2, Mark DeBellis. We got Nate, Michael Volkman, Chester Gregory, Johnny Midas, Robert Brady, Chris Minka, Bitcoin Maximus. Shout out to the entire Bitcoin fam. So all right, now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis and see what is happening. The birth of the Bitcoin short-term hodler whale. That's right. Since the Bitcoin price action returned to 30,000, a shift has taken place amongst Bitcoin traders. As Glassnode shows, so-called short-term hodler investors holding coins for a maximum of 155 days have become significantly more common. Welcome. As it turns out, the largest volume investor cohort, the whales, is also composed of large numbers of short-term hodlers. Quoting Glassnode here, short-term hodler dominance across exchange inflows has exploded to 82%, which is now drastically above the long-term range over the last 5 years, which is typically 55 to 65%, according to Glassnode. And from this, we can establish a case that much of the recent trading activity is driven by whales active within the 2023 market and thus classified as short-term hodlers. Now, interest in trading short time frame moves on Bitcoin was already evident before May. Since the FTX meltdown in late 2022, speculators have become increasingly eager to tap the volatility, both up and down, and the results thus far have been mixed. Realized profits and losses have routinely spiked in line with the volatile price moves. Quoting them again, if we look at the degree of profit loss realized by the short-term hodler volume flowing into the exchanges, it becomes evident that these newer investors are trading local market conditions. Each rally and correction since the FTX fallout has seen a 10,000 plus Bitcoin uptick in short-term hodler profit or loss respectively. So there you have it. And where my long-term hodlers at? Holla at your boy. And closer to the present, the whales have ramped up exchange activity at one point in July, accounting for 41% of total inflows, as outlined here in this chart. Analysis of the whale net flow to exchanges can be used as a proxy for their influence on the supply and demand balance. The week on-chain comments on the topic. Whale to exchange net flows have tended to oscillate between 5,000 Bitcoin a day over the last 5 years. However, throughout June and July of this year, whale inflows sustained an elevated inflow bias of between 4,000 and 6,500 Bitcoin per day. And as reported, the whales are not only forces at work when it comes to Bitcoin sales. We also have mining pool Poolin hitting the headlines with its transactions destined for Binance, while miners potentially hedging profits also contributed to the sell side activity. So as the boring sideways trading action continues, let me know if you're currently more bullish or bearish on the king crypto, meaning do you expect it to continue to pump, or do you feel we're likely to correct to lower levels? Let me know. And at the end of the show, I'll be reading everyone's comments out loud, which takes us to our next story of the day, which is Coinbase versus the SEC. The date has been confirmed. That's right. The latest development in the lawsuit of the US SEC versus crypto exchange Coinbase, the largest crypto exchange in the United States, comes as the date is confirmed for the two parties to voice their initial arguments. On July 24th, Coinbase's chief legal officer tweeted the news of the New York judge Catherine Polk approving the joint request from the SEC and Coinbase to proceed forward in the hearings, as outlined right here on crypto Twitter. The initial document submitted by the two parties highlighted that an agreement was concluded for Coinbase's motion and opening brief to be due August 4th, 2023, which is right around the corner, right? Along with the timeframes for various subsequent supporting documents and responses and the respective length of the documents. However, no agreement was reached on the deadline for the SEC's opposition brief, to which Coinbase proposed 30 days after its opening motion and brief, and the SEC proposed 60. Now, the judge responded by an approval granted in part, which includes Coinbase's deadline of August 4th for the initial brief, as well as August 11th for the supporting documents, which is in the coming weeks. She also went forward and settled the disagreement over a date for the SEC opposition brief, which is to be due on or before October 10th of this year, with Coinbase's reply by October 24th or sooner. And as a response to the lawsuit on July 14th, Coinbase announced it will be pausing the ability of customers in California, New Jersey, South Carolina, and Wisconsin from staking additional assets until further notice. The SEC's case against Coinbase is one only of the crypto-related lawsuits it is involved in, and with Ripple Labs' lawsuit being a hot topic in the industry. According to the July 17th report, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, reportedly plans to meet with lawmakers in the U.S. to discuss legislation of digital assets and other similar topics. So there you have it. How do you feel it's likely to play out for Coinbase with the continued unlawful regulation by the SEC? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. More than likely, I think they'll get a slap on the wrist and have to just pay Gary Gensler and the SEC a huge fine, like we witnessed with Kraken earlier in the year. They got fined $30 million. There's the XRP lawsuit. They'll probably be fined $100 to $500 million as well. But fortunately, they have the war chest to play ball. And I think Coinbase, as well, as it's one of the largest exchanges in the world, and the same with CZ. So I think they will survive, but we shall see. Let me know how you feel it's likely to play out. And now what everyone is talking about, Worldcoin this, Worldcoin that. Well, Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum, shared his thoughts on Worldcoin. Let's discuss this right here. Check it out. Vitalik, co-founder of Ether, released a long-form essay with his thoughts on the recently launched Worldcoin human identity verification system. This was on July 24th. He tweeted his response to Worldcoin, which launched the same day, as he initially put here. What do I think about the biometric proof of personhood? And in the article, along with the explanation of Worldcoin and how it intends to work, Buterin addressed the larger concept and discussion within the release of the Worldcoin token, which is proof of humanity. A very interesting concept, right? Worldcoin, along with similar identity solutions such as proof of humanity, Bright ID, and also these other things, believe that as artificial intelligence advances, it will become increasingly difficult to distinguish between humans and the machines. Most of these systems that supply a token type, such as Worldcoin, also see human utility being endangered by bots and therefore needing a universal basic income. Buterin writes that these factors combined beckon the need for digital verification of humans. He argues that this system of proof of personhood is valuable to solving anti-spam and anti-concentration of power problems, and additionally, Additionally, the Ethereum co-founder highlights that systems like Worldcoin, if it continues to decentralize as promised, will avoid dependence on centralized authorities and reveal the minimal information possible. Quoting him here, if proof of personhood is not solved, decentralized governance becomes much easier to capture by very wealthy actors, including hostile governments. Buterin also addressed the major concern looming over such solutions, which he summarized into 4 main points of privacy, accessibility, centralization within the Worldcoin Foundation, and security. And on June 27th, Worldcoin had a small scare that it immediately clarified after thousands of safe deployments to optimism caused speculation of an attack. We had Steve Dock, developer working on the Ethereum attestation services, which is the network's own service that creates, verifies, and revokes on and off-chain attestations, commented Buterin's post saying systems like Worldcoin could be complementary with EAS. And in conclusion, Buterin said there is currently no ideal form of proof of personhood and envisions 3 different approaches to the problem that could become a hybrid of each other. He called for community accountability in the process with audits, checks, and balances, although saying he does not envy those who take the task it is designed to implement such systems. His point is simple. A world with no proof of personhood seems more likely to be a world dominated by centralized identity solutions, money, small closed communities, or some combination of all 3. And as of July 14th, a week before the system's launch, signups for Worldcoin World ID surpassed 2 million in less than half the time it took it to reach its first million. All I know is this. I want to be very clear here. I do not trust Worldcoin. I do not trust Ethereum. This is Vitalik Buterin. I do not trust the Ethereum Foundation. I do not trust the government of the United States. I don't trust virtually any governments, maybe Nayib Bukele over in El Salvador because they made Bitcoin a legal tender. But I'm just saying the obvious out loud. Trust nobody. Verify everything. I see what they are trying to do, and all I know is this: refuse. You know, especially when it comes to CBDCs, FedCoin, and all of these things that are going to take away your freedoms. I don't care who is promoting it or talking about it. We have Bitcoin, and guess what? Bitcoin is our saving grace because it is the antidote to the CBDCs and our oppressors who threw us overboard a very long time ago. And I want to make that loud and clear, but let me know what you guys think about Worldcoin and this article I just shared with you. Now let's break down a $157,000 Bitcoin price target as per crypto analyst Dave the Wave. Check it out. Bitcoin, as we know, is currently flirting around 30,000 with the market cap at roughly just shy of 600 billion. We had Standard Chartered analysts believing Bitcoin miners will play a crucial role in propelling the token's price to new highs. And during the crypto winter of 2022, the miners faced huge pain as the price crashed by nearly 80%. But on the other hand, the Bitcoin mining costs were on a steep rise, resulting in little to no profitability. However, Bitcoin's strength continues to grow this year with the price rising further. Miners are less likely to sell their coins as we approach the Bitcoin halving roughly 9 months out, scheduled to be sometime in April of 2024. And during his interview with Business Insider, the analyst said if a higher Bitcoin price causes the miners to sell fewer tokens, it would boost the price, eventually creating a positive feedback loop, thereby driving the price above 120,000. That's right. So when Standard Chartered came out and made their 120,000 prediction, this is the analyst they based that off of. And now he's saying we're going to shoot above and beyond this 120,000 mark. Also like to point out that the main shareholder of Standard Chartered Bank is none other than BlackRock. So let that sink in. And back to the story. So another positive factor for the coin, obviously, is the halving. During this event, the rewards given to miners get cut in half. This helps limit the supply of Bitcoins and in the past resulted in the price going up. So quoting him here, so they basically want to have a company that starts out when the prices are cheap, get cheaper, electricity and stuff, and hold on. It's like a super leverage play. And Geoff, the analyst, has been bullish about Bitcoin and predicted 100,000 level back in levels by 2024 earlier in this year. And beyond miner profitability, there could be several other contributing factors behind this. He says it includes Bitcoin's safe haven reputation, including interest, regulatory adaptations, less volatility, and alternative currency fall off. And he particularly mentioned the BlackRock filing of the spot Bitcoin ETF, particularly signals more demand from institutional players. Also, the Fed ending its rate hiking cycle by the year end would marginally help Bitcoin. And several market analysts shared bullish price predictions for Bitcoin by the year end, as well as for next year. So yeah, I mean, it's a given. I feel the price is likely to continue pumping, obviously. And now let's discuss our next price prediction. And I may have mixed these two up. We should have been on the the 120,000 157, but nonetheless, it's all the same. We're going to get to it, and then we're going to get into everything Michael Saylor with his $1 million price prediction. So now let's break down our next story of the day. We have a trader with a history of accurate market calls is warning the Bitcoin bulls not to get too ahead of themselves with outlandish price targets. We have crypto analyst Dave the Wave. Dave the Wave uses a logarithmic growth curve to map the potential trajectory of Bitcoin, depicting diminishing volatility and therefore smaller rallies and less dramatic corrections over time. The LGC is designed to estimate Bitcoin's long-term highs as well as lows throughout its lifetime while ignoring the short-term volatility, says the trader, quoting him here. Beware, the Bitcoin charts with longer-term projected straight lines, channels, and parallels that will proliferate for price targets in the next bull run, exactly what led to most astray the last time. And looking at the trader's chart, the LGC model appears to predict Bitcoin can rally above 200,000 before 2026 expires. Dave the Wave says that while Bitcoin is relatively high after its strong performance so far this year, the King crypto is still in the opportunity zone for long-term investors as it hovers around this 30,000 mark. Quoting him again alongside this chart, yes, the price is relatively high, but Bitcoin is still on the LGC buy zone for investors. Now, he recently said Bitcoin's bottom is likely already in. I agree with that 100%. And the question now is just how high can Bitcoin run? Quoting him again, with the consensus building that the Bitcoin bottom is in, the question increasingly raised is what could the next top be? A proportionate response with the parameters of the LGC performing since 2018. The trader provided this chart predicting a $157,512 Bitcoin price by 2025. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the crypto analyst. And with that being shared, now for the moment you have all been waiting for, let's discuss the latest with Michael Saylor. He was recently interviewed by Altcoin Daily, one of the top crypto YouTube channels out there, and I transcribed this interview, so I want to share with you some of the highlights with this price target specifically and why he is so convinced Bitcoin will soar above and beyond $1 million per coin. And then we'll dive into our live Q&A. And again, massive shout out to everyone out there. So yeah, let's start here. Michael Saylor predicts Bitcoin price will exceed $1 million. We all know Michael Saylor, extremely bullish on Bitcoin. We know Microstrategy currently holds 152,333 Bitcoin, worth a staggering $4.5 billion. And currently Microstrategy is the second largest hodler of Bitcoin amongst companies, only behind Grayscale, which holds over 600,000 Bitcoin. So in this recent interview, Saylor referenced how adoption from asset managers and banks is crucial in developing the infrastructure required for mass Bitcoin adoption as game theory continues in full effect. Now, institutional interest soared following BlackRock's filing for Bitcoin spot ETF June 15th, and other institutions are following suit, with most naming Coinbase as their surveillance sharing partner. So now quoting him word for word, because I actually transcribed this interview in which he did, because I couldn't find an article on the topic in which he shared this precise prediction. So here we have it. Michael Saylor's says BlackRock, Citadel, and Fidelity will send the Bitcoin price to $1 million. Quoting him word for word, it looks like a spot ETF will probably get approved. There is massive political pressure to approve one. The circumstances have changed, and now there is a way for the SEC to approve it without backtracking on its previous legal and policy guidance. Word up, he continues. Certainly, there's a lot of Wall Street entities that have vested interest in seeing this happen. If you're an institution, one way to get Bitcoin exposure is to buy the underlying asset, but there have been challenges with finding the right exchange to buy it on and custody arrangement. So a simpler way to do it is to just buy a spot ETF. There are trillions of dollars in capital that is required to invest in a security that trades in these compliant forums and is understating the obvious. There's tens of trillions of dollars. So there is a lot of capital that can't buy the Bitcoin or self-custody the Bitcoin. They don't want to do charter. Maybe it's against the tax code. Maybe when they raised $10 billion from public investors, they raised it to invest in securities, but not interested in property or commodities. So the spot ETF availability is a major milestone for institutional adoption. The approval of a spot ETF is a major milestone in regulatory clarity, which is tantamount to an endorsement. The engagement of Fidelity, Citadel, BlackRock, Schwab. I mean, Schwab is synonymous with Wall Street, 100 years of Wall Street. So what you have is Wall Street coming together to offer securities and exchange services and indirectly custody services for mainstream investors. And if we look out about 12 months, and if I was saying what are the key milestones that drive mainstream adoption of Bitcoin? Well, one of them is clearly a spot ETF. The second is a designation that Bitcoin is an asset class, the recognition of a legitimate commodity. It's a big deal. When Jerome Powell says it's not going away, when Gensler and the head of the SEC and CFTC both say it's a digital commodity might not sound like much, but when you go down the next round, like, is it a Ponzi scheme, or is it a scam, or is it tulip bulbs? The difference between tulip bulbs and digital commodity is a 0 versus a 1. I have said it before and I'll repeat it again. If it is not going to 0, it's going to $1 million. It is either nothing, and if it's nothing, then it's getting scrubbed out and banned. And of course, we know that that's not getting banned. There is no way that Fidelity, Citadel, BlackRock, Charles Schwab, Deutsche Bank, Credit Agricole, Banco Santander all decide they're interested in this. They are not endorsing a tulip bulb, right? Once you go from 0 to 1, then the question is, well, it's an asset class. And if it is not going away, what is it worth? Well, it's worth 1% of the assets in the world. So 1% drives it up by a factor of 10 to 20. So there you have it. And in this interview, he also says Bitcoin represents thermodynamically sound money and thermodynamically sound property in a modern high velocity economic energy system. So that being the case, anyone not using it is running on a 20th century system that is defective. Touche. And that is coming directly from the Giga Chad, Michael Saylor himself. And now for our live Q&A. First and foremost, let me know if you agree or disagree with the prediction of Michael Saylor that a 7-figure Bitcoin price is destiny. And by what year do you feel the Bitcoin price will likely hit that 7-figure mark? Let me know in the comments right down below. And now let's discuss in the live chat. Massive shout out to everyone out here. Appreciate all the support as always. We have 200 people plus here live. So much love and respect. What's good, Stizzle? What's good, Garrett Miller? What's good, Bitcoin Maximus? What's good, Chris Minko? What's good, Tony Jeffries? LFC Liverpool Film Club in the building. Shout out to the UK. We got Robert Brady in the house. What's good, Matt K? Good to see you as well. Always a pleasure, Steve Kingston. What is poppin'? What's up, Chester Gregory? What's up, Corporate McMahon? Good to see ya. What's up, Paul P? What's good, Bitcoin Trini? What's good, Tommy Boy? What's good, Mark G? We got Corky C, Baz Dragon. We got the entire crypto fam. I love it. Johnny Midas. What's poppin'? Nate Scandival. Welcome. Adam 2. Always a pleasure. I'm going to start rattling out some of these comments out loud. Yes, let's get it. It is beautiful all time here, says Steve. Word up. You got to enjoy yourself. You got to do what you got to do. Let me get into the juicy comments. Here we go. JV, I may be showing up on Twitter. I appreciate the love, no matter the social community. So thank you very much, fam. Much love. I am pretty disappointed at the Swan Bitcoin guys for attacking Plan B. I noticed that as well. I wasn't anticipating that, but yeah, it is what it is. I am personally a fan of Plan B. I have a lot of respect for him. The Bitcoin stock-to-flow model was the only accurate price prediction model in existence. Then naturally, it fell off its trajectory. Didn't continue going up after 2021, but we did have some black swan events, which caught a lot of people off guard. So I was disappointed to see that too, just FYI. I guess we only have 970,000 of a roller coaster left to enjoy. Send it. That is correct. Actually, 971,000, or to be exact, $970,900, and we shall hit that 7-figure mark. We're getting closer and closer. Hey, JV and Crypto News Alerts fan, welcome. Maximus, also want to say shout out to everyone who gave me a retweet. I appreciate the support. Those of you following me on Twitter, much love and respect. And also, of course, the greatest compliment you can do, which is free to do, is smash that like button and hit that bell icon, turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live. What's good, Janasa? Let's go. 3 mods in the house. That is what's up. Shout out to all of our mods. Greatly appreciate it. Send it, JV, says Corky. Let's get the likes to match the amount of people in the chat. Wouldn't that be a fantastic goal? Let's get it. What's good, Soulful? I'm from London, Heathrow in the building. I remember going to the Heathrow Airport a few years back. Checking in from Clearwater, Florida, says Chester. Shout out to my old stomping grounds there in Clearwater, Florida, and to the fam. Stizzle says, yo, JV. Yo, what up? What's good to chat? Let's go get it, JV. Scorching heat here in Mississippi. Won't stop me from dollar cost averaging. Keep stacking them stats, fan. Much love, Tommy Walton. Digital Bobby Digi. What's good? Any reference to RZA there? What's up, JV? Let's hit that hopium hard. You already know we take hits from that hopium bong each and every day here on the channel, 7 days a week. Thanks for the hard work, JV. You're very welcome, Bart. Appreciate the support. Much love. As long as money keeps getting printed, the Bitcoin will go up against fiat. 100%. The Bitcoin purchasing power is guaranteed to go up versus the US dollar, while the US dollar purchasing power is absolutely guaranteed to continue going down. That, my friend, is a fact. Robert Brady, your daily podcast is awesome. You are like Bitcoin, running 7 days per week. That is dedication, respect. I appreciate that. Much love and respect. Chris says XRP had a lackluster 2-day pump and back to riding the coattails of Bitcoin like all crypto. You're right. It is what it is. Everyone, good evening. What's up, Baz? Appreciate you tuning in, fam. BTFD, DCA, and Stack. You already know Corky. Go get it. Thanks, JV, for pumping us through the markets when they're down. You're very welcome, Tommy Boy. That's what I do. I'm here 7 days a week, regardless of the volatility or sideways trading action, regardless. And as Michael Saylor says, volatility equals life force. So with Bitcoin, you already know, fam, the force is strong. Just bought 210 USD of Bitcoin, stacking step by step, says Corporate McMahon. We are here for the long haul until the halving. Keep getting it, fam. Love to hear that. Music to my ears. Keep stacking them stats. I saw the dip and I bought. I never worry. We win. If it dips, I buy. If it skyrockets, it's good for us. 100%. I have that same mentality. I appreciate you sharing. Why isn't Litecoin pumping? That's right. They have a halving too in a couple of days. I think so. Maybe in about a week or a week and a half, there is a big Litecoin halving. Yet the Litecoin price action is not pumping. Is it priced in? That's a great question. Who really knows? Scary Gary. Mr. No Clarity Gary. Megadon was good, fam. Good to see you as always. Robert, I am bullish on Bitcoin. I believe it'll be on sale a few more times before the halving. I believe September will be the best sale price. We'll send it and keep stacking them stats. Coinbase is all drama and theater in order to keep the Bitcoin price suppressed, but they can't do it forever. I'm with you on that, Maximus. They know what they're doing behind closed doors, 100%. Don't trust No Clarity Gary and the unlawful regulators, not at all. About 48 hours left before the potential interest rate hike announcement, points out Garrett. Love cheap stats. Me too, Coin Father. Keep stacking. I always excited to have a digital identity on the blockchain because then we could have a passport ID all in one spot to give permission to access. But when, says Dankness, Garrett says it's 0.25%. It's already priced in. 0.25%. That's right. What we don't know is how hawkish Powell's comments are. Volatility incoming. Stay sharp. 100% JV. Appreciate it, Maximus. One love. I might get right a couple of days, just like a broken clock. That's right. Even a broken clock is right at least 2 times a day. Facts. You get the price you deserve. 100%. Even Saylor, he passed on Bitcoin for a very long time. He was against it, but then eventually he came around, changed his mind. And who are we to argue with the rocket scientist himself? Advanced apologies for me. Rude comment about SBF and Gary Gensler back in the early chat. They get me so angry. I kind of lose it. I didn't even see it, but I hope you can continue speaking your mind about it. I think that's important. In fact, I think you should shoot YouTube videos about how you really feel about Scam Bankman-Fried and No Clarity Gary and share it with us all. Why not? You can today, but 4,000 Bitcoin pennies for 1 UK pound is still so early. You already know. Steve Kingston, 157,000, 2025. Send it. Let's go. Yes, always tell the truth. That's right. What Tony Montana say? I tell the truth even when I lie, Chico. Shout out to Scarface. Our pre-coiner friends may not understand the problem that Bitcoin is solving. That's true. It is what it is. Bitcoin is the only thing I actually own. Everything else is by permissioned access, says Savvy Bitcoiner. Shout out to Savvy Bitcoiner. What's up, Juan Romero? What of X instead of Twitter? I did notice that today. I didn't see any of the features or any changes. I just noticed the logo is no longer a bird. It is now an X. I don't see what the big deal is, folks. But I know he is changing the entire platform. It's eventually going to be a payments platform. I just pray he integrates Bitcoin. Until he does that, I don't really care. David Wilson, hello from Cyprus. What's good? Much love from the UK, says Petrolhead 2020. Much love, fam. What's good, JV? Into the Bitcoin fam, says Lacey Watson. Thanks for the information and creating the channel. You're very welcome, Lacey. I appreciate your continued support. Maltese Crew says Compass Lounge, word up. Bobby Digi, 7 figures for Bitcoin after 2028. I agree. I think it's most likely to occur sometime between 2028 and 2030 personally, which is only 2 halvings away, with the next halving be approximately 9 months out in 2024. What is freaking good, Rome, yo? Let's freaking go. Let's get it. What's up, JV? What's poppin', fam? Like you said yesterday, who cares? We are going to argue with a rocket scientist. Michael Saylor, that's right. A Bitcoin ETF will allow me to invest Bitcoin in my 401k without violating the rules. Exactly. And there's literally trillions upon trillions in a similar situation. They can't invest because they're not allowed to do so, hence why we need a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States. Let's get it. He knows the truth potential of Bitcoin probably more than anyone else, so he doesn't care what the price is now. It is hard for anyone time to dip 100%, points out Maximus. We are in a squeeze going vertical, but which way? Looking where the liquidity and shorts and longs are sitting after the show. Word up. Why is SAYLOR cost for Bitcoin so high? He doesn't take advantage of the dips as well as he should, says the non-billionaire. Word. Well, I think his average purchasing price for the 152,000 plus Bitcoin on their balance sheet is around the 30,000 mark. In fact, I think it's just shy of 30,000. So he's probably at the break-even point right now. But do the math once Bitcoin returns to its all-time high. We're talking about Michael Saylor and Microstrategy becoming amongst the richest crypto folks and people in the entire world. I think it's only a matter of time before the wealth of SAYLOR and some others in the crypto space that hold a lot of Bitcoin, like CZ, the Binance CEO, will become the richest people in the world. You know what I mean? Unless people like Jeff Bezos and SAYLOR start going all in on Bitcoin sooner than later, but we shall soon see. You can today, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. If Larry Fink changed his mind about Bitcoin, what's stopping you? Good point, Savvy. Good point. 0.01 a Bitcoin a week. Word up. Keep stacking them sats. XX, Raggedy River X. Garrett used to be a cable network. Elon is adding XRP for payment. Is he? Hence, the X will go with XRP. Interesting. I didn't see that announcement. Steve, Garrett thought is similar of Time Warner in the past. Oh, Time Warner. Word up. Sailoring the crypto seas. You already know Nate was good, fam. What is poppin'? What are you most excited about in crypto? Anything you're looking forward to this week? Let me know and we can discuss it. We're going to hang around for a few more minutes here. I'm going to read a few more comments out loud. Problem with the ETF, they might start fractional reserving it with paper like they do to suppress the gold price. Yeah, we don't want gold notes of Bitcoin. We want the real thing. The supply curve will shift to the right, suppressing the price. And that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. If you have a note that you own a Bitcoin, that doesn't mean you own it. Kind of like a note that says you own an asset. You don't own the asset unless the asset is in your possession. And in order to own the crypto asset, you need to own the private key. And to own the private key, it needs to be in your private wallet. I would suggest a cold storage wallet such as a Trezor. You know what I mean? Because then it becomes safe from hackers. There's a few reasons. You don't want to keep your precious Bitcoin and cryptocurrency on the exchanges. One of the obvious reasons, it becomes an attack vector for hackers. Another reason, what if the SEC goes after that exchange and now you can no longer withdraw your cryptocurrency, just like we saw with the collapse of FTX as well as other exchanges in 2022. That can be a real life scenario. So my suggestion for using the exchanges, because we all have to use it, the exchanges are the on and off ramps. How else do we exchange our crappy fiat for Bitcoin or vice versa? The way we do that is using an exchange. So as soon as you execute your transaction, my suggestion is remove it from the exchanges and put it on a cold storage wallet. Learn how to self-custody if you haven't done the knowledge yet. It's pretty simple to learn. There's a lot of tutorials naturally on YouTube, so I highly recommend taking advantage of that. You know what I mean? I asked earlier, didn't hear your answer. Word up. What date did Westinghouse buy CBS outright? Good questions. I have no clue. INJ again pumping and dumping. Get that link also. Word up, Steve. Nate, some think Bitcoin won't run until a Bitcoin spot ETF is approved, but in my opinion, that is incorrect. The 4-year halving cycle still rules. That's right. So even worst case scenario, no clarity, Gary, rejects the BlackRock ETF in 2024. It gets rejected this year as well. They don't need to respond until 2024. That's why I just am hypothetically suggesting that. Well, Bitcoin will still continue to do its run. It's still going to be bullish as all hell because there is a halving, and we never had a Bitcoin ETF yet. Yet Bitcoin went from virtually nothing to $69,000. So it's going to be like, next level parabola when we get that spot Bitcoin ETF. However, Bitcoin is not dependent upon it. And you make a great point because it is on its own vector, not your cheese, Not your keys, not your keys, not your cheese. You got it, Jeff. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Not your keys, not your coins. You got it, Trini. Thank you, JV. Awesome show and production. Much love and thanks. You rock. I appreciate that, Chester. Thank you for tuning in live. Looking forward to the new studio, JV, but please don't go crazy with the FX. Love your straightforward, factual presentation. You are very welcome, and I will be thoughtful of that. So I appreciate the insights. I'm just excited to be able to sample things. Like if I have, for example, Michael Saylor talking about something, being able to sample that audio and play it during a live show, I think that would be next level versus me just always quoting him. You know what I mean? Yeah, great show. I was here the whole time, just silent till now. Thank you, Bring Facts. I appreciate you as a Bitcoin OG here on the channel. Can't lose buying Bitcoin at these levels, 100%. You're buying it at less than or greater than a 50% discount. They suppress the gold price through ETFs. That is the worry. You got that right, Tony. Danielle, was good. What date did Comcast start? I have no freaking clue. You could probably Google that one. 2024 pump will have 2017 vibes, not 2021. I agree. I think we're going to blow people's minds this halving cycle. And as they say, history doesn't necessarily repeat, but it often rhymes, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, JV. You're very welcome, Will. Appreciate you tuning in as well. Thanks for tuning in live and saying what's good. Anyways, fam, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis as Bitcoin Whale Exchange inflow share hits one-year high at over 40%. We also discussed the latest between Coinbase versus the SEC. Court dates have been confirmed for the initial case arguments. We also discussed Worldcoin token launches a spark response from Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum. And we also discussed Bitcoin positive feedback loop. Analysts forecast a price surge beyond 120,000, quadrupling its current price. We also discussed trader who predicted the May 2021 crypto crash issues a Bitcoin warning, outlining the Bitcoin target for the next cycle in 2025 at $157,000. And we also discussed Michael Saylor's latest $1 million price prediction. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.